In this science project, I'll be going over topics about habitats and environments of the different enemies in World Zero. But what exactly is World Zero? Well, World Zero is an online RPG world published in Roblox and developed by Verdamanta. Level up your characters, defeat dungeon bosses, unlock new classes, evolve pets, and participate in tower raids. It uses next-gen anime avatars for its unique style. You can customize and personalize your characters to your own desire. Anyways, we're here today not because I'm a salesperson for this game, but for my science project. The main topic of my science project will be how different animals or enemies adapt to certain areas and environments. In World Zero, there are different enemies in the game. Some of these enemies are only adapted to certain areas, and some of these enemies are adapted to multiple areas. In each world of World Zero, there's a different theme. For example, in World 1 or Crescent Cove, it's more of a shiny, bright, normal area. It invites you into the game because it's just the first world you play in. Then we have World 2, or Imbursky Jungle. It's more of a rainforest area with, for some reason, a hellfire place at the end of the route when you go through the forest path of the world. After that, we have World 3, also known as Glacier Valley, which is a winter-themed world. Following that, we have World 4, Pharaoh's Canyon, a scorching desert canyon filled with stone golems, scaly creatures, dangerous cactus, and a giant pyramid. Should a group of players attempt to raid the pyramid, they shall find themselves feeling the wrath of a transcendent Egyptian god. Following that, we have World 5, also known as Canoe Gardens. The Canoe Garden was once a magical, crystalline realm filled with divine, bright creatures. Great blossom trees of dark wood and fluff-like leaves, and a mysterious, isolated race of blue goblins. But the garden holds a dark secret. Deep inside the grassy fields of the land, a magnificent tower of fire and brimstone, magma and obsidian. Next, we have World 6, a vast coral reef in the endless choppy ocean swarmed with all kinds of marine creatures. Sea serpents, electrifying crabs, and dangerous slimes. Somehow, horses and parrots can be found. There also lies an aquatic tower. Its 10th floor, lying just above the surface of the water, is filled with priceless items. However, it is guarded by massive squid, making it extremely difficult to get the treasures. Lastly, we have World 7, Mazuvia Skylands. A clustered group of islands with Greek architecture hovering over the sky filled with mobs such as gladiator goblins, armored goblins, and deadly scorpions. Despite the look of the Skylands, the peace is disturbed by the dark realm that lurks beside and beneath the Skylands. The dark world is filled with horses that can summon lightning and winged evil creatures. The dark mobs serve one lord, Hades, the Dark King. To preserve the peace, one must venture to the Mazuvian Tower and fight Zeus, the all-powerful ruler of the legendary Skylands. Now to the main event. So the enemies we will be comparing today are fictional, but they can still connect to the real world through science. All of these are ecosystems, but what is an ecosystem? An ecosystem is a geographical area where plants, animals, and other organisms, as well as weather and landscape, work together to form a bubble of life. Ecosystems contain biotic or living parts, as well as abiotic factors, or non-living parts. For example, the rocks, water, and air in each world are abiotic factors, and the enemies and the characters, and even trees are biotic factors. Therefore, the worlds are all ecosystems. First off, we have the crabs. Earth crab and volcanic crab from World 1, crystal crab from World 5, and electric crab from World 6. The general animal that has adapted to these environments is the crab. In World 1, the Earth Crab and Volcanic Crab have adapted to the beachy and earthy environment of the world. In World 5, Crystal Crab has adapted to the world where it is magical, crystalline realm filled with divine, bright creatures, and the Crystal Crab is nice and bright. In World 6, the Electric Crab has adapted to the aquatic environment and is basically the eel of the sea in the fictional world of World 0. Following that, we have the Grass Cobra and Poison Cobra from World 1 and Golden Cobra from World 4. The Grass Cobra and the Poison Cobra have adapted to World 1 because just like Earth Crabs and Volcano Crabs, it has adapted to the earthy and beachy environment. In World 4, it is a desert, and the Golden Cobra is golden, and the desert theme is very yellow, so it is golden. Moreover, there are the Dark Scorpion from World 4, the Glided Scorpion from World 7, and the Whirlpool Scorpion from World 6. The Frost Golem from World 3 and the Rock Golem from World 4, the regular Boar Wolf and the Light Boar Wolf from World 1, and Charged Boar Wolf from World 5. The Carine from World 7 and Spirit Horse from World 6, the Toxic Goo from World 1, the Icy Goo from World 3, and the Magma Goo from World 5. Most of these enemies have circumstances or reasoning similar to the enemies that I have just explained. Okay, so how exactly does this connect to science? This is going to be a long one. This connects to the real world and science because in real life there are certain species that thrive in certain environments. This is because these specific species are adapted to certain conditions. Living things can only survive where their needs are met. If some places are too hot or too cold or have too little water or food, certain plants and animals may not be able to live there. Particular organisms can only survive in specific environments. Populations of organisms live in a variety of habitats. Change in those habitats affect the organisms living there. Populations of organisms live in a variety of habitats. Change in those habitats affect the organisms living there. This connects to World 0 because some of the enemies in the game are actually from other worlds, but they're different because they adapt to that certain world or environment, like electric crabs in the Atlantic world and the earth crabs in the Crescent Cove world. Yes, and there we have it. I've come to the conclusion that, yes, even though most of these creatures, in fact, all of them, do not exist in real life, the world or area of the game matters for the type of enemy. Like I've said before, a change in a habitat or environment affects the organisms living there. That is why it is very important to make sure that we preserve areas where there are endangered and or close to endangered species, so we can protect the wildlife and the home we call Earth.